Hello, this is a live video, but I am not answering questions today. I have been compelled by my divine creator to share a story about my son, who is now 7. And yes, I have had children. I'm tired of being asked that question. I understand I'm thin. I am emaciated. I am emaciated because I am starved. I am starved because I have no family that actually cares about me. And I mean that not for pity's sake, but it'll probably make more sense when you hear the story. So, when my son was about a month and a half old, almost 2 months old, because it was Halloween and he just turned 7 last weekend. So, or weekend before. Anyway, September 7th is his birthday. So, it was October, very, very near Halloween. We had taken him to a little pumpkin patch because we wanted to get pictures of him inside of a pumpkin, and we needed to find a pumpkin that was big enough. And I remember as we were picking it out, my husband was very excited, but then suddenly was like, what if we can't get him out of the pumpkin? And I was like, we have to worry about that at home because right now I'm way too excited. And he was like, I am too, but now I'm like, I don't want to break my baby. And I was like, can you stop worrying about that? And we can worry about that when we get home and cry about it later. And he was like, yeah, okay. Because my husband and I are both crybabies. Big crybabies. I do not know why, but we are both crybabies. And let me explain when I say I do not know why. That feeds into this whole story. And it's about the fight or flight response. I'm a nurse. I'm more than a nurse, but I'm a nurse. And so during recovery from surgery, I've been told by a PACU nurse somewhere sometime, well, actually I was 17. You can always tell who's a fighter and who's a flighter by how you wake up out of anesthesia. And girl, I came in here to tell you that you need to take kickboxing. I'm calling your brother right now, and I'm going to tell him because you are so tiny, but girl, you got a good right hook and a left hook. And I don't know whether you're right or left-handed now. And girl, you need to get into kickboxing. And I remember as my brother tells me this, and was like, and I don't care, but I don't know why my friend Kelly is calling me. And also, I didn't know you were having surgery. What the fuck's wrong with you? And I said, hey, you know how I've had like the most painful periods of all time and all of you make fun of me? Oh, yeah, because you're a big wuss. Yeah. It feels like I'm having a baby every month, and it has since I was 12 years old. So Dr. Bell said, haha, Ryan, but not haha. And he was like, oh, shit. Well, I'm sorry. Oh. I'm sorry, Robin. And I remember that moment because I said, how bad was it watching your 16-year-old wife? Actually, they were a little bit older at that point, but they got pregnant when he was 16. And how was it watching that happen? You know, just natural. And he said, every time I saw you crying after Rachel gave birth, I wanted to cry with you, and I didn't really understand why. And it's only happened 2 or 3 times because I moved out, but wow, Robin, I'm sorry. I don't know why you're sorry. You didn't give me these pains. Well, I'm sure God didn't do it on purpose, but God did. I don't know the full reason, but suffice it to say, I've accepted it because the pain went away for a long time. And it's coming back. And now I live every month in anxiety and pain and terror emotionally because of the physical pain I experienced. Because after losing 2 children, 2 living children, and losing 3 non-living children, it hurts a lot to know that there are so few people in this world that actually care, even about their own. So let's get back to the story. During the pumpkin patch, I was holding Landon, so grateful for my little tiny baby. And I remember every time I would look down at him, I always thought it. And as I would sit there and feel this little tiny warm thing against my skin, I would feel it. And every time I breathed and lived and was conscious of that, I was thankful for the little 7-pound thing in my arms. As we were looking around, someone said, "Oh my God, sweetheart, look down." And I looked down, and there was a bell hornet on my son's forehead. Bell hornets are terrifying to me because you can see the stinger on them. They look painful. And I've heard stories of people who've been stung by them, and they've ended up in the hospital, even if they were not allergic. And imagine my terror as I looked down because this stupid bitch, who I didn't know, said, "Look down." Yeah, I know, it's a baby. And I see a thing that covers his entire, because I'm like making it bigger, but it did. I mean, it covered his entire forehead, the little tiny. And what's funny is I remember she started to give me advice, and I said, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." And everybody around was like, "Oh my God, does this woman know she's at a pumpkin patch with lots of children? Oh my God, what is she doing? Oh my God, what is that on his forehead?" And I remember all of the gasps in a crowd that suddenly was going silent, and it was spreading. And it was one of the most intense moments of my life thus far. I had picked him up out of the sling that I was carrying him in, and I was setting him down on the ground, and I put my hands up like this, and I started walking backwards. And I remember the silence that was still spreading, and suddenly there was nothing, no sound at all. And then I heard a man go, "What the hell is she doing? She needs to save him. What is she doing? Get me up there." And my husband just silently went like this. And I swear to God, like now as I'm saying it, this moment seems, and it wasn't that long, so it's not that dramatic, but it seems almost as if Moses parting the Red Sea was this moment in my life. And so the bell hornet flew away within seconds of me setting down my son and me backing up. And then as it did, I waited a second, and I just breathed, and I almost passed out. And I remember I grabbed him, and then I turned, and Keith said, and I looked, and he had already started running to the car. And he was like, "I'll have the door open, just get in, and do not put the baby in the car seat." And so I ran, and I got in, and I said, "Keith, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And he goes, "I thought the same thing, but I'm calm now. We're fine. Everything's fine. We don't need to do anything." And he was just, I don't remember now. I don't remember the rest of that story. But the important part's over, so. I don't know why I put my baby down. I don't know why I see I'm stuttering. I can't even. I don't know why I picked him up, other than suddenly at 25 years old, almost just shy of it, or just shy of 26. No, it was 25, about to turn 26. I allowed my instincts to kick in when I have never done that before, because I haven't been able to, because this brain is smart. This brain is just below borderline genius, which I'm sorry, but that means I'm smarter than 90% of the population. So that means if I've met you, I know I'm smarter than you, because I don't think I've met the top 10% of smartest people, even though I went to private school, even though I went to Randolph-Macon Women's College, which is a higher institution. I went to Oxford, but I didn't meet many classmates. So, in general, y'all are out there, and I'm never going to meet you. And I'm out here, and you will never meet me, but you are aware of me, so you know of another one. But Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, I've heard that he actually went to Oxford on merit. And anyone who went to Harvard on merit, or Yale. Actually, so yeah, I've met a couple. I met somebody who went to Yale on merit, on a scholarship, full ride. That's impressive. And most people don't even know what I'm saying or care. And to you, I say, just accept that I'm smarter than you then, because you would otherwise know what that means. Because at 16, I was very well aware of all of that. because I was going to college. Not because I was smart, but because I needed to get the fuck out of Dodge. So I had a baby. I saved his life, possibly. Definitely saved him from a painful beginning of life. We both almost died. I have PTSD because of it. And from bringing him into this world, which means he was predisposed to it. And I've been told he has PTSD now, and I don't know that that's true or not, but I know, and I rest comfortably at night knowing that a lot can happen during childhood, and a lot can change in a day, in a year, and a lot can be said for the voice of God, which, although I am smart, I believe. If you are smart, you believe. If you're brilliant, you don't believe because you think you're smart. And I'm here to say today that I have never, ever spoken with a colleague at a hospital, which, by the way, I'm not just a nurse, but I will gladly wear that badge for the rest of my life because I would rather be a nurse than a doctor any day of the week because of what it means. And you don't know what it means unless you do. And if you don't know what it means, then just rest comfortably knowing that you have nurses that take care of you too. And the doctors will probably tell you the same thing. So, although I have an NPI, although I have a white coat that's sitting right there, and I am reluctant to wear that on any channel except for my Brainsby channel, because on that channel alone do I feel stupid enough to wear it. I have recently been made aware that nobody I know cares about me, really. And that's okay with me. But it was unfortunately due to the fact that I was starved to death while people who claim to love me still come and go all the time, but none of them will feed me, and I don't know why. So I had to learn to feed myself. And there's only one person who likes to mess with me, who I think did it out of love. But he's still also very, very frustrating to me because every time he asks me for anything, I'm like, here's what you can do to help me. And he won't do it because he's also stupid, but in a different way. So take everything I say, not with a grain of salt, but with humbling feels that for some reason you feel like you just heard God's word, and you may have. And if you did, then God bless. And if you didn't, but you feel like it was still something that spoke to someone else, then you get the point of this whole thing. And thank you for that. Have a great day.